This video is for angle bisectors. Now, if you look at the picture right here, we know that OB, that ray, is an angle bisector. And what an angle bisector means is it means that when something is bisected, it's cut into two congruent pieces. So in our picture here, I know a couple of things to be true. I know that angle AOC is equal to angle AOB plus angle BOC. I also know, because it is an angle bisector, that angle AOB is equal to angle BOC. So what that tells me is that I can, if I'm given one of the small angles, I can double it to find the big angle. Or if I'm given the big angle, I can take half of it to find one of the small angles. Again, this only works when this line, or this ray in this case, is an angle bisector. So let's look at some problems, see how this stuff works out. It's real important in these examples that we pay attention to the details that they give us and what they ask us to find. So when I look at this, I know that all these lines, these blue lines that we have in the pictures, I know that all of these are angle bisectors. That would have been like a given part of each one of these examples, okay? So in this problem, I know that they tell me that angle 2 is 25 degrees. Now, angle 2 is one of the small pieces. So because angle 2 is 25, I know that angle 1 also has to be 25. And if I add those two together, I get the big angle, YWX. So one way to do this would be to fill in 25, 25, and then say that the big angle is 50 degrees. I'm going to do it just a little bit differently, and that's going to help us when we start to bring in variables. Here's what I know. Angle 2 is one of the newly created bisected angles. All right? Angle YWX is the big angle. So I know that the measure of angle YWX has to be equal to 2 times the measure of angle 2. I'm going to substitute numbers in, and I know that the measure of angle YWX is equal to 2 times what the measure of angle 2 was, which was 25, or I can conclude that the measure of angle YWX is 50 degrees. And that's what they're searching for. Now, if I look at this next one, they give me angle 2 again, but this time they ask me for angle 1. Well, what do I know is true? I know that in the picture, the measure of angle 1 equals the measure of angle 2. I'm going to substitute 31 in, so the measure of angle 1 is equal to 31 degrees. It's all based on what you know and how to interpret that angle bisector rule. So let's bring in some variables. Okay, they want me to find x, which means I need to set up an equation. The two pieces of information they give me are the big angle and one of the small angles. Here's what I know to be true because HP, my glasses aren't working too well, I guess. Because HP is an angle bisector, I know that the measure of angle FHG is 2 times the measure of angle 1. I'm going to take the information that they give me and substitute the expressions in. So measure of angle FHG was 19x plus 5. And then we have 2 times the measure of angle 1, which was 9x plus 4. I've created, using geometry, an equation to solve. So I'm going to distribute over there. I have 19x plus 5 is equal to 18x plus 8. I'm going to subtract the 18, so x plus 5 is equal to 8. Subtract 5, I get x is equal to 3. Again, this is what the geometry tells me. This is the equation from the geometry. Look at the next example. In this one, they're talking about angle 1 and angle 2. Now, I know from the geometry that the measure of angle 1 has to equal the measure of angle 2 because WP is an angle bisector. All right, they tell me that the measure of angle 1 is 16x plus 1. They tell me the measure of angle 2 is 15x plus 3. I now have an equation to solve based on the geometry. Subtract 15x, I get x plus 1 equals 3. Subtract 1, I get x is equal to 2. Let's take it one step further. So they're going to give me some information. I have to apply the geometry to find x and then substitute back in to answer the question. So here we go. They give me angle 2 and they give me the big angle. I know that the big angle, measure of angle ZXY, is 2 times the measure of angle 2. I'm going to substitute. 11x plus 2 is equal to 2 times 7 plus 4x. I use the geometry to set up the algebra to solve for x. So I have 11x plus 2 is equal to 14 plus 8x. I'm going to subtract 8x. So 3x plus 2 is equal to 14. I'm going to subtract 2. 3x is equal to 12. And divide by 3, x is equal to 4. Now, while this is important, it's not answering the question. The question, look back up at the top, says, what's the measure of the big angle? So I'm going to go to the measure of angle ZXY. I know that it's 11x plus 2, so I'm going to write 11 times 4 plus 2, which would be 44 plus 2, or the measure of angle ZXY is 46. Alright, let's look at this last one. They give me the measure of angle 2 and the measure of angle 1. What do I know? I know the measure of angle 1 is equal to the measure of angle 2. That's the geometry. I'm going to substitute. 5x plus 4 is equal to 6x minus 4. In this case, I'm going to subtract the 5x. So I have 4 is equal to x minus 4. Add the 4 from the right, so then I get x is equal to 8. Then I go back to the question. I say, what do they want me to find? They want me to find the measure of angle 2. Well, the measure of angle 2 is represented by 6x minus 4. So I have 6 times 8 minus 4, which is 48 minus 4, or the measure of angle 2 is 44. Please complete the homework that goes along with this lesson. Hopefully you took good notes, and good luck to you.